recommend Ally's high yield savings account again and again to clients because of their bucket feature and automation for savings. Let me show you how they work. Hey there, I'm Brittany Flammer. I'm a certified financial coach and the creator of Financial Fitness. I will show you how I personally use Ally's saving buckets and the frequently asked questions I get from clients. If you haven't tried Ally, you can use my link. I'll put in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. Sometimes they offer bonuses. I don't know what they're offering right now when you are watching this. Basic info on Ally's high yield savings account. Their account has no fees, no minimum balance, and it has high interest rates. Although they do not have the highest, they are competitive. If you want something with higher interest rates, you can grab my cheat sheet right up there. I compare the 20 top high yield savings accounts. Probably my favorite feature with Ally's high yield savings accounts is their buckets. Buckets are a way to visually separate your money. With buckets, you have one savings account, so that's just one account number, but you can create up to 30 different buckets to visually separate your money. So some examples of some of the buckets we have a bucket for life insurance that we pay annually, for our vacation, for our house updates, things like that. So here is how to create buckets. Here I am logged into my Ally savings account, and just for reference, I have renamed it or nicknamed it Sinking Funds. By default, it's showing me my activity. I can click on buckets to see the buckets. So right now, I do not have any buckets created. To create buckets, we'll click here to organize your money. Here are the different options. You can rename any of them, but these are the icons they come with. If you want to customize your own, it will have this piggy bank, but you can rename it. For today, I'm going to create an emergency fund. I want a vacation fund, and let's say we pay our car insurance every 6 months. So I want a fund for that. When I've selected them, they'll be highlighted in blue. It's kind of hard to see. We'll click done. If I exit out of that, now I can see the funds. It by default will give you a core savings fund. That's just default. It doesn't count as one of your 30. Everything in your Ally savings account earns interest. Currently, it's 3.6% interest. That fluctuates based on the economy, like every other high yield savings account. But every bucket, any money you have in your savings account will earn interest. It accrues daily, gets paid monthly. And the way it works is it doesn't matter what bucket your money is in, all of your interest will go into one bucket. By default, they give you a core bucket and it will automatically go into that, but you can change that and choose what bucket you want it to go into. So for us, I want ours to go into vacation. So let me click on settings, and I'm going to choose interest paid, and I can select here which fund I want it to, or which bucket I want it to go into. So I want bucket, so I'm going to choose that right there. I should note that there are 2 other online savings accounts I am aware of that let you visually separate your money, kind of like Ally's buckets. SoFi lets you do vaults, Wealthfront lets you do categories, and I do have a comparison of all 3 of them. I will link to that video. Now let's talk about boosters. Ally offers 3 different types of boosters to help you save more money. First up, probably the most common one is the reoccurring transfers boosters. This just means you can set up reoccurring transfers into your individual buckets. I don't like this way as much as the other way, but let me show you because I was a little bit confused when I first started. It looks like I have one set up right now, but we're gonna pretend like I don't and set up a new one. But we're gonna add another, or for you, it'll probably just say add recurring transfer. And you're gonna choose how often. The reason I don't like this one as much is because there are not as many options coming from the booster. But let's say I wanna do monthly. Let's say I want $500. I can just have one transfer, which means 500 will come out of my checking account, and I can put it into multiple buckets. So by default, it will go into the core savings, but I don't want it to go in there. I want 300 of it to go into my emergency fund, and then I want 100 to go into vacation and 100 to go into our car insurance. So I have to have all of it add up to the 500. And if that's how I want it, this means one transaction will come out of my checking and then it will go into those individual buckets. I can click next. I have to choose which account I want it to come from. And then how often, we already chose that. I can choose when it starts. So the first day it's available is June 2nd. So we'll go with June 2nd, click next. I just make sure it's all correct and I'll click submit to show you what this looks like. Okay, so now you can see I have it scheduled. So 500 will be deposited into my boosters on June 3rd. Another way to show that it's set up is if you go to buckets. This little icon means there's a reoccurring transfer happening there. And if you decide you want to delete the booster or the reoccurring transfer, you can do that. Just click on boosters, view, click on it. We can edit it. Oh, how do we stop this reoccurring transfer? Okay, so now you can see I no longer have any reoccurring transfers. And if I look at the buckets, they're no longer the little arrow thingy-majiggers. The second booster is Roundup. So if you also have an Ally checking account, anytime you use your debit card or anytime you pay for anything, it will round up and deposit that into one of your buckets. The third booster is Surprise Savings. The way this works is Ally analyzes how much money you have in your account. Once they've determined you have enough that you're safe to save money, they will transfer money into a bucket for you on their own without you doing it. Now let's talk about how to automate your transfers into your buckets. Ally has a lot of options for how frequently you can do your transfers, your automated transfers. And like I said earlier, you can withdraw money from a linked bank account, put it into multiple different buckets. You can come up here to transfers, and we're going to do bank transfers. So we're transferring from a different bank. In my example, we're transferring from checking into our savings. So I choose the account that it's coming out of and I choose what it's going into. And let's use that example of $500. I want to transfer $500 into savings every month. So I will click select bucketed amounts to choose which buckets I want it to go into. So I had 300 in emergency. And I don't like, it always lets you know if you don't have the correct amount, but I'm not done, so it will add up. So I've got the 100, 100, 300. I'm good to go. I click save, and then here I can choose. It could just be one time. There are a lot more options for this one. So let's say I do just want to do every month. And then once again, I can choose the date to start on. So if I choose every month, the 3rd, June 3rd, it will be every month on the 3rd. Unless that falls on a weekend or non-business day, then it'll move to the next closest business day. And you can choose to end it on a specific date or when you've saved enough into an account, or if I just leave it to when I cancel, it's just going to be good forever until I stop it. And this, I like seeing this. So this means I want it delivered on June 3rd, but it's going to be withdrawn on the 30th because that's the weekend. So it tells you when it's going to come out of your checking account. So I can click review transfer, submit it. Okay, we're done there. Now if I go back to our buckets, now that I've done the recurring transfer, it shows up that it is the recurring transfer right down there. It's really easy to move your money around within the buckets. Maybe you overspend one bucket and you want to pull from another. It's really easy to distribute your money. We are here, once again, we're in the buckets tab. Click on distribute. And this is showing me I have $2,250 in my savings account, that core savings, but I don't have anything in my buckets. So I can easily transfer that. So I can just choose to take it from one bucket to one bucket, or if I want to do multiple buckets all at once, I can redistribute all of it. So let's say I want to distribute it all. So let's say my emergency fund, well, let me click distribute your money. Let's say my emergency fund, I want 2,000 in there. And then vacations, I want 200 in there. And that leaves me with $50.62 to go in this one. So I'll click on that and click distribute. So if I go back to our buckets, just click out of there. I now have $50 in that bucket, $2,000 in that one, $200 in that one. But my reoccurring transfers are still scheduled. Let's talk about transactions. There are an unlimited number of transfers within your buckets inside your savings accounts, but Ally only lets you withdraw money from your savings account 10 times per month or per statement. Here's how you can withdraw money out of multiple buckets for just one transfer. Let's head up to transfers, the bank transfers, but this time we want it to come out of our savings account. So we'll choose our savings account here and then choose where I want it to go to. So I'm going to send it back to my checking account. And right here, it's showing me how many withdrawals I have left. So we get 10 per month or per statement cycle, which is basically a month. So let's say I need to transfer over $200. I can choose which buckets I want it to come out of. So I can choose, let's say I needed 50 of it was for something for our car and 150 was for vacation. So I can do that. And if I click save, that means it's gonna pull it out of our buckets. I can choose how often to do this. So if you're gonna consistently have something every month or every week or every year, you can set it up to be automated. Although Ally does not have the highest interest rate, I still love it for the automation available inside of their buckets. If it is not the savings account for you, grab my cheat sheet comparing the top 20 or check out any of those videos I mentioned comparing different online savings accounts. I will have links in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.